Put it on, girl. Let me see it. Put it on, girl. Let me see it.
Welcome to Accidentally Informed, where
we can't guarantee that you'll learn something, but let's face it, you probably will.
How are you? You look cute.
I'm wonderful. Oh, thank you. You look cute too. You look sun-kissed. Tell us about all of the FOMO that we were feeling while we were watching you on Instagram.
Oh, you and my mother, and I didn't hear all about that today. Nag. Oh my goodness. Oh, anyways, we need to do a show about mothers and how your relationship changes when you get older. It's really, I'm at that point where I'm like,
my mother, we could do it, but my mom would definitely want to come on.
Oh, well, your mom could come on. My mom, my mom's on Instagram now, right? So she sees more. So now in her opinion, all I do is party. Now I just got off tour for 3 months straight of being on the road of pretty much, working on a play, but all I do is party because she saw a few posts from Memorial Day. She's like, "Oh, you done running on the beach, slow motion?" I'm like, "Actually, no, I would love to go back and do more." And she's like, "Oh, it must be nice." I'm like, "Well, I invited you to the Bahamas and you told me it was too hot after shaming me for not bringing you the first time." Then it's like, "You have money to be partying like to doing all this. You should get your fence done." I'm like, "Mom, we got an Airbnb and I split it with two of my friends and it was really not that expensive." Like I have to really break it down that it's not as glamorous as it really was. And then it's okay. And it's like, still like, what's still? I don't hear from my kids. I call my brother. He's like, "I talked to her this morning. I talked to her yesterday. I'm going to see her." I'm like, "Mom, don't worry, Erica. She doesn't watch anything I do. So it's fine."
Yeah. She sounds like she's feeling lonely and she's taking it out on you.
And I wish my mother was in a relationship for a while. And I did feel so much better because I felt comfort in she had someone to spend time with, because it's got to feel, I try to put myself in her shoes, you know what I mean? Like being that age and being by yourself and being single and not being in a relationship, your whole world is going to be through your kids, but your kids also move on, they move away. And then, you have this guilt, like, I don't want her to feel left out, but I also want to live my life as well. And I don't know. And she's just not a great communicator either. Like, so I have to battle with that.
So my mother is in her 70s and she retired and also moved to a new town and with my father. And so when she first moved, it was kind of a precarious situation because it was shortly, COVID hit right after that. And she didn't have any friends, family, like over there. And so I just kept saying, like, there's got to be a group. Child, they go from 0 to 60. They go from there's nobody around, I need something, to all of a sudden, homegirl is never at home. She is playing pickleball. She is playing, she's doing Pilates. She's doing chair mat yoga, whatever that is. She is the president of the club for people who are of a certain age and still kick it. Like she is doing all the things. So I think, maybe your mom will find that type of community because, I mean, it's hard.
Okay.
Where did I lose you? Oh, okay. There you are.
I don't know. I think my mother tapped in and took me out the screen. I usually take my mom, like I'm usually telling my brother, like, you need to check on mom more because he lives closer to her. I'm usually the one that's telling him this and like check on her. But today I got a taste of it where there was no right answer. And then he's like, "You know what? She's just at that age." And I just think that it's that age where she's definitely feeling it. And then, seeing your kids like live their life, not saying there's jealousy, but the FOMO maybe a little bit, or, I don't know what that feels like. I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? But I'm sure I will be eventually. But
well, no, I think that we do better when we know better. So, but I mean, also that age I can understand. It's when it kicks in your like 40s and you just bitter for no reason.
Yeah.
I might be coming from a personal place, but you got to fix that. Therapy is out there for a reason.
I'm like, "Mom, I'm not married. I don't have a family," meaning let me go have 4 days in the Bahamas after working my butt out. I was 15. You know what I mean? Like I work all the time. And she's like, "You have a family." I'm like, "I didn't mean you. I mean my own like kid." Anyways, girl.
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough because as much as people talk about like, oh, it's family can get it, friends can get, and like I don't feel like that. Like I'm gonna extend grace and patience to my family more than somebody who I met, a few years ago. So I understand you riding and towing that line, but you okay? You okay by us and by us the informers? Okay.
Girl, we will do a mother's show one day. How about that?
All right, not a Mother's Day because that passed a mother's show.
A mother's
Um, on that note, I did want to shout out one of our informers. Well, we all know and love Anthony Buchanan. He graduated last week and he has received a bachelor's degree on TV and radio. So congratulations, Anthony. We love you. And then all the shout outs from Belle Kallur. Hey, ladies, looking forward to as usual. Love you on Olay and Friends, Claudia.
Oh,
did you do another? You did another appearance, didn't you?
I cheated on you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That was my side chick, though. You're my main.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. She's mine. You may have had her once, but I have her all the time. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, what's going on?
Listen, informers, buckle up because we have a wild ride today. We're diving into the explosive Diddy trial, unpacking the messy Remy Ma Papoose breakup. I'm so sad about that one. And what he once told me about her when when love was still in the air, when I interviewed him on Fox Soul. And yes, why the hell did Trump pardon a reality TV couple? We've got all this and more right here, right now. Let's get into it. Okay, first off, let's get into this Diddy trial. Since our show last week, Kid Cudi took the stand, and as well, Diddy's former assistant Capricorn Clark. Here's a recap. Kid Cudi says Diddy broke into his home back in 2011 after finding about his thing with Cassie, and not long after, his Porsche mysteriously went up in flames. Cudi thinks Diddy was behind it. Meanwhile, Diddy's former assistant testified she showed up at her place with a gun, forced her into a car, and drove to confront Cudi. She says he even threatened to kill him and later attacked Cassie. What do you think this alleged arson does to this case? Let's start with that first. What do you think that the arson accusations and testimony does to this case, Erica?
So I think that we've heard so many testimonies and accusations, but one thing that seems to be prevalent and something that we've heard about for quite some time is that Diddy threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and then Kid Cudi's car got blown up. So that alone, I mean, first of all, that's a very direct and specific threat. And it's a very direct and specific thing that happened. Mm-hmm. And I think, in terms of circumstantial, I don't think it looks great in Diddy's favor. Arson is a very serious charge. And even if it's not a serious charge to the average person listening, the judicial system finds this to be a very serious charge. So I think we're getting into the nuts and bolts of this in terms of RICO. Because ultimately, when we're talking about RICO and criminal enterprise, it is the collusion or, the ability for people to come together to do multiple criminal acts over the course of a period of time. Mm-hmm. So I think this is really kind of setting up RICO.
That and also the bribery of, the blackmailing, extortion of Cassie's parents. This arson charge on the heels of that from last week is crazy, and it doesn't help. I know at first people were like, "Oh, where's the collusion? Where's the coercion? Where's the RICO?" I'm like, we're getting into it now. That is a big deal, and now you're hearing about how much control that Diddy had over Cassie with the direct orders that he gave in front of Capricorn Clark, like, come in here, pick up the remote, put it down, do this, do that, and she would do it. It didn't seem like she had much of a choice to do much of anything.
I see. This is where I don't, it speaks to, I feel like more than one thing can be true. Mm-hmm. Because my immediate thought is to put myself into that position and think about what I would do. I think a lot of people think that way, but I think a lot of people think that way without the idea of nuance, and or the idea of having any type of experience that you can relate to this. Because when I hear stories like this, I cannot imagine myself being in a position where I'm seeing someone being subjected to just gross and egregious humiliation for absolutely no reason to assert control and either not say something or not step away. Now, that being said, we also now know the level of control that Diddy had on not only the people in front of them, but apparently people out in the periphery as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to question why Capricorn didn't say anything, because it might have been very dangerous to do so. I also then have to think, why can't question why this person wouldn't have walked away, because we also know that walking away from Diddy isn't an option. So it's almost like being jumped into a gang. Like, are you going to be jumped out? Like, what happens next? What's your exit strategy? So now when I hear this testimony, I think about it with far more nuance than just the idea of what's right and what's wrong and what would a good person do and what would a bad person do. I think it's more complicated than that. What was your thought about it?
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine about, like, we've talked briefly before about this. Have you been in an abusive relationship before?
Me personally,
Mhm.
physically, no. Like, as in physically abused, no.
How about mental?
Yes.
Okay. Which is very, very, very scary. And when they have control of your mental, the physical is usually right behind that.
Mm.
I remember in college I was about 20 years old, had a guy that was he kind of snapped on me one day. And I tried to escape from his apartment one time from the 26th floor. I ran down multiple flights of steps, got into the elevator, got off the elevator, went down multiple flights of steps. Before I left and ran out of his place, he dumped my bag out and got rid of all my money and everything, all my items. I had no cell phones back in 1992, I think it was. And I remember running towards the train station in Cleveland. Right now, this is not Diddy. This is a guy that worked at the bookstore in Cleveland. Okay, but he was my boyfriend. And we had gotten to a point where he was like kind of running me a little bit. And I tried to get away. I think I had 25 cents left in my pocket. I went to the payphone and called his phone to leave him a message. Because, again, before cell phones, it was a landline answering machine. And I was like, don't ever call me again. I'm leaving. Don't ever come after me. I'm done with you. I hung up the phone, and right behind me was him with his hand. And he dragged me back to his place. This is a boy in Cleveland that worked at a bookstore after he beat me up that night, right? I tried to escape. This is not Diddy with the $1 billion network and people that are paid to not help you. How many times have we heard of people witnessing violence and they did nothing? Okay. And I remember being around Cassie's age, and there was no getting away. And this was, like I said, a boy who worked at the bookstore. So when people say, well, why didn't she just walk? I tried to walk and he tracked me down and found me. Now, this is a regular guy with no network. And he brought me back to his place. His father was in the apartment, heard me getting beat up, did nothing, saw me being brought back into the apartment and was like, hey, y'all, with all that noise in there. That's all he said. It was no, what happened? Are you okay? And in this sick relationship, I remember him putting rubbing alcohol on my cuts and bruises and nursing me back. I tried to get to the phone and call one of my friends and said, I'm alive. I'm okay. I'm trying to get away when I can. The next day, he dropped me off at my school, and I got into my dorm room, and my friends were going through my stuff looking for his phone number. They knew I was there. I went to track practice, bruised up. I had bruised ribs. I could not even do my long jump, nothing. And my coach was like, what's wrong? And I was scared to tell my coach about the boy who worked at a bookstore with no money and no power, because I know he'd whoop my ass and find me. So I'm just trying to put myself from that 9 to 5, not even, okay, guy had me in check. So when people, it just pisses me off when people say, why didn't she just leave? Why didn't she walk away? She could have just left. And this was a very short-term, it was only like a 2-year relationship. And that's where I was mentally. So anyone that knows, who has been there, knows it is not as easy as just walking away. And when she did walk away, what happened to Cassie? beat down, kicked, dragged down a hallway, and everyone helped cover it up. The hotel, no one called the police, no one rescued this girl. You feel on your own, and there's only so much your friends could do.
Right.
Okay. Again, I just want people to put things in perspective. I just thought about that today. I'm like, she was 22. I was 19, 20 years old, similar. And you're goofy and you're scared and you don't feel, I didn't even tell my parents. I didn't tell my people.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Here's the thing. And first of all, thank you for sharing that story and being so transparent with your testimony. Clearly, I mean, I'm looking at the comment section. The informers are feeling you in a way that tells you how common and pervasive this is. And when you're talking about the lack of power, someone said, girl, been there before. Airy girl says, been there before. Money don't equal abuse. The coins just make it worse and gives them more power, which is absolutely the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I just, to me, I really wanted to kind of say both things, like what my first thought is versus what I know to be true in this very cruel world. The devil walks amongst us.
Yes.
And it manifests in so many different ways. And the thing about it is the parent, like to say the father. Now, in that person, in your situation, your former abuser, that makes sense that that's the way that his father responded. But it also makes sense because you're in protection mode that you wouldn't share that with people who you know, love, and are going to be fearful for your safety.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to protect them. And isn't it just the way that this effed up world can really be? The person who is being abused, scrutinized, like is at their weakest.
Yeah.
Is also the person who is ensuring that everyone else is okay.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it's the sick way of the world.
You protect them. And it is a little bit of Stockholm syndrome. I mean, and then, then I did try to do the right thing and get away from him and go to my dorm and thinking I had safety there. He showed up nights later and waited outside my dorm room to see when I would get home and get back from track practice. Then I moved dorms and went to an all-girl dorm, right? I mean, and he found a way into the building. There was no protection. I could not get away from him. It was like a horror movie. So guess what I did? I left my school in Cleveland and transferred to a school in New York. That's the only way I got away from him. And then years later, maybe 10 years later, let me see, how long later was that? That was 92. I moved to LA 97. I'm on The Price is Right 99. 1999, 2000, right? I moved to LA. I'm on The Price is Right. I haven't heard from this guy, nothing. I started getting letters at CBS from this guy saying he's my husband, I'm his wife, and that I talked to him through the TV, through my eyes.
Oh,
he lost his mind. Do you know this mother effer took a one-way bus ticket from Cleveland to LA and waited in the parking lot to find me, probably to put a stake through my heart, because he said I'm playing games with him and I know what the F I'm doing. Now this, again, was a broke person who worked at the bookstore in Cleveland, had that much fear in my life 10 years later. So I don't want to hear shit about what this multi-millionaire, almost billionaire man has the capacity of doing, and how could she have let this happen? There's no letting. There's no letting, you guys. I had to call security. Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. It was our week off. It was 2001. I remember this. And I wasn't there. And security said this guy showed up and he was hanging around the studio. He stayed in LA and slept on a bench to try to find me. So if that man will go that far, imagine a man like Diddy who put hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, behind Kathy. He's like, no, you're my property. Ain't no getting away. Ain't no it's over. No, it's over when I say it's over. I just want people to get into the mentality of what it was like and stop thinking from the safety of your couches behind the internet and with your little keyboard warrior mentality. Abuse starts before the physical. Erica, you were on your way when they start with mental. The physical is right after that. They get control of your mind, so you're afraid to do anything, and then they go on to the physical abuse, and then you're stuck.
You know, I appreciate that and I reflect on that. I think when one, I've been close enough in proximity, especially college, that I think you hit the nail right on the head. College age women are prime, I mean, prime targets.
First time out
Not
of your
that
mother's
anyone
house.
can't, right. And not that anyone can't become one. There's a lot of different ways because when people talk about there is no perfect victim, oh no, predators know a perfect victim. They can smell it, they can see it. And the problem is when you're talking about, your friends, they knew, but there wasn't anything you could do. I've been friend many a times in these situations
Mhm.
because I had a stalker myself. Same thing being in media for such a long time. People start to believe that you are communicating
Yep.
with them and then they show up at your home. And
Yeah.
it's a very, a crazy situation, like it's gotten to the point where you have to almost like you have to be very creative when you're on the other side of that. And that's only if you have the mental capacity and maybe some resource to do so.
Yeah.
Let's keep it all the way 100.
And the
So,
police don't help. They're like, well, until they do, there weren't stalking laws like that back then. Like it wasn't like it is now. Until they do something to you, well, we have to wait till you're damn near murdered, and then we can maybe jump in. Like you have to have some broken bones and abuse, like for real abuse, not just a shake up or you. It's they need to see some like blood and broken bones. Like then they take it
oh,
seriously. Yeah,
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And for a stalker, no, they have to try to get you into their car.
yeah.
What?
I had someone
I'm
else come to
so
my house
sorry.
and
What?
throw me around. And they said, well, your bruises weren't dark enough at the time when the
Mhm.
investigator was there. I'm like, oh, so I need to be dead. And then you'll got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what an
I,
investigator told me. He said, well, you're dark skinned. So the bruises that we saw, they didn't seem that dark at the time. I go, wow, you've got to be kidding me. I
yeah.
see why. And then it's so hard to get something done, even when you get beat up by the person.
I want to just add some takeaways too, and I'm sure that you can add to this as well because there's so many of our informers like, yes, yep. I mean, all of these different things that people really understand. But what I want to make people aware of some of the things to look out for
Mhm.
because one, if you are in a situation that you are maybe seeing a therapist, oh, predators love people who are trying to like get help. They cannot be in your sessions. In fact, do not share intimate critical information with someone that you are sketchy on. And sketchy could just mean that you don't know them as well as you might have longer standing relationships with people who you can actually confide in and trust. So, no to being in sessions with therapists, no
Mhm.
to any information that, because that is an effective way to get in someone's head. The other thing is for a lot of young people who are on the come up, you see this as like a gift from, a higher power. There's someone who is invested in you and your career and they're sharing your vision for an intimate partner. When that sharing of, the want for success or the need to grow becomes infiltrated by their control and power, know that that is a ploy to keep you there and to keep you underneath them at all times. That is a golden cage situation. And the introduction is a very friendly, very overly committed
Mhm.
idea of wanting to see you grow and succeed. So I want to put that out there as well.
Facts.
Claudia, would you like to chime in on any of these? Because I'm sure you
Oh,
have
you mean
some as
like
well.
how they get in there? Well, a lot of times they and I do see that Sheila W say predators prey on people who have been abused. Yes, they do because I had just come from high school with something else that happened, like with sexual abuse, and was telling the new guy about it and thinking this is my savior. So they go, ha ha. Like you give them an in. Like I have to stop myself from telling so much in the beginning of a relationship. I probably show myself as a prime candidate. I'm in another state away from my family. I don't know anybody really in Cleveland. I knew like one person. So like I was a perfect candidate for that. So they do prey on people who've already been abused. Then it seems like you're the type that's always crying wolf or you're always saying that. So just be careful. I want to say, I know we have to move on to the next topic, but a lot of people are really in the comments about this. Let's see. Christine R said, back in the day, I think it was less scary to be a celebrity. Now, I would not want to be a public figure. Also, Patrice Ben says, true. I had a gun put to my head, had this man's child. This was years ago. Oh my God. Christine R. I remember when Mike and Guy had to come to your place to protect you from a weirdo years ago. Yep, that was a guy that we interviewed, and then he friggin' snapped. He thought we were together in his mind. Belle Kalura says, not you too, Erica. Oh my God, ladies, I'm so sorry that y'all have had to go through so much. The protections for women are abysmal.
Yeah.
And Paula Griffin said he knew
by design.
Yeah. Paula Griffin said he knew Kathy came from a good family and would blackmail her about her parents, so they know. So yeah, we have a lot of that. Listen, this is something we probably will have to dedicate a whole show to, because it's a lot more we can do with this. But I know we got to move on because we have a lot more show to do, but I'm glad that we got to talk about that a bit, because I just want people to get into the mentality. And I guess next week we'll talk about whether or not we think Diddy will testify. We'll get into that. Yeah. All right. Next week. And maybe we'll have someone from the trial to join us.
Yeah.
Again. Okay. It looks like an all-out war. I hate this story between Remy Ma and Papoose. The gloves came off on social media this week, with both airing their dirty laundry for the world to see. Now, it all started when Papooses girlfriend dropped some shade, well, alleged shade, on the Breakfast Club about his still pending divorce from Remy. Well, Remy wasn't having it, and she clapped back on Instagram Live. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
I have the papers. For the one who just checking and saying sign those papers, then I'm the one with the papers. I'm the one with the lawyer. I'm the one retained the lawyer. There's no lawyers on that side. There's no papers. There's no retaining. There's no, I'm out the country. I'm over here. I'm this. I'm this. You're 20 minutes away in your apartment. Like, I know, like you're down the block. Like, what? Stop playing.
Well, Papoose responded, even saying that he wrote 90% of Remy's music. Erica, what do you have to say about this? Playing out loud in public, especially for those who are not familiar with Remy Ma and Papoose, they were the picture of Black love when she went to prison for, I think, 6 years. He held it down when she got out. Like, he was really there for her. And this was a lot of people's goals. What do you think?
We got to be careful about making people goals. I mean, it requires really inserting yourself into something that may not be meant for you at all. I don't like to see this. I don't like, obviously, I was married before I got divorced. One of the biggest things that really, I think, saved a lot of therapy, although I still did do therapy, was that we basically came together and said, let's not completely destroy each other. Like, we have a whole lot of life left to live, and we made a decision that doesn't work for us anymore. Let's just try to get out of this as amicably as we could. Now, that being said, we were very broke. I think when there's money and stake and, residuals potentially involved, I think it gets messy. And I don't want to see it, but I also understand that this is just what happens. But you feel a lot more like you have a lot more to this.
Yes, because I've been around Remy and Papoose. I've got plenty of pictures with her at different award shows. We have mutual friends. My friend Trevor, who works with her and loves her. Now, I interviewed Papoose on Fox Soul about, Black love and everything. And this is what he had to say on the show.
Oh, I always say this. A woman is the most precious jewel, more precious than a ruby, emerald, diamond, or sapphire. Each man has to take one woman and rise her above the rest so she can show the world how precious she is. Meaning, if you don't put your lady on that pedestal, you will never know her full potential.
I mean, amen to that. Amen.
And that's one of the reasons people said they were goals, because they appear to be so happy. It seemed like there maybe been some long-term resentment going on, like to have all these things to say. Now that went left. That's people that were probably showing a good, putting on a good public face, which you're supposed to in a relationship, and not supposed to be like letting people know your business.
Right.
And then maybe there was some long built up resentment. Maybe there was some resentment from him, like her having to hold her down while she was in prison. And how could you have committed a crime that would take you away from me? Maybe there's some resentment from her, like, I'm the star, I'm making the money. Yeah, you're helping me, but I need you to step up. And now they're just letting it all come out. And I'm like, no. Every time they both release a video, I want to call them. I don't have their numbers, but I want to call them or get someone to get me on the phone with them. Like I can really help them with my life. But I want to be like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it really does go to show what hurt and resentment and anger can really manifest in, especially in a situation like that. In order to be that upset and to have that type of vitriol for someone, there had to have been love there, like sincerely. And so, I mean, I know that we hate to see it. I know a lot of people considered them black love goals. But again, I think one, you got to hammer things out in a prenup. And if you can't get a prenup, maybe a postnup. And just have some very defined boundaries, because I think that's when people get into a lot of trouble, when the love is wavering. Also, I think you brought up an excellent point. I share the story a lot because it kind of resonates with a lot of people. When my husband and I got married 9 years ago, my dad decided that he was going to give a speech in the middle of the reception, which was fine. But we didn't have speeches, but you know, it's my dad, so great. But his speech was, Erica, Anthony, I'm just gonna let y'all know, if something happened between the two of you, y'all mad, y'all fighting, you keep that between the two of you. Don't be sharing stuff over here. Erica, don't be coming home to me and your mama. Anthony, don't you be going home to you or to your daddy and your mama talking about what happened. Because what happens is y'all make up, y'all somewhere making babies, and we still mad. And it's like, keep your business to yourself. And
first of all, we got to take a moment to acknowledge your amazing impersonation of your father. I feel like he's here. So on point.
You didn't notice that was also my Stephen A. Smith?
Right. It's every male, every story. I love it.
Oh my gosh. But yes, that was Roosevelt's advice. And I gotta say, like, it honestly helps so much, because in the moment it feels good to just get it off your chest, but tell it to your therapist, tell it to your lawyer, tell it to anybody who can't repeat it.
I hate that the way to go now is to just go on social media and tell a bunch of strangers who don't wish you the best, you know, tea on someone that you once upon a time really, really loved. Again, like Roosevelt said, you know, y'all over there making love and having babies and stuff, and I'm over here still mad. Right?
Yeah.
And that is so true. When my friends tell me about their guys and I'm riding for them, I'm like, oh, F him. Then y'all done made up. I'm still on some F him type thing. And now you're mad at me because I'm saying F him, but I'm saying F him because you told me F him and you didn't include me when y'all got back together. Okay. So now I'm still mad and I'm still on some F him. I hate that they both went to that internet. I do understand that in the beginning it was probably embarrassing because the story came out that first the story was Remy cheated on Papoose with the other battle rapper, the Block King. What I forgot his name. He's a battle rapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy the Block King or something like that. He's a battle rapper. And then also the rapper shook hands with Papoose. So Papoose felt disrespected. Like, how you gonna shake my hand? You been sleeping with my wife. So then he punched the battle rapper in the mouth. Okay. And then so we never really knew. So I was always like, wait, did Remy really cheat on Papoose? No way. We love them. He had to have done something before that, right? Then the next thing is Papoose moves on and he's with Clarissa, who's getting a lot of attention. Now she's getting tons of media attention. So then now Remy, you know, is any little thing that Clarissa says, she's like, wait, is that shade towards me? And, you know, Remy don't back down from nothing. So now you got all this energy. And I don't know, like, if people are doing stuff on purpose to irritate the other person. I don't know. I know I really hate this, though. I do.
Well, I will say this, too, because nothing would set me off more than being in a relationship for that long of that magnitude and having some third party Johnny come lately getting on platforms talking about my business.
And in the battle rap,
someone gave away the recipe of how to piss me off. I guess I did.
And the way it went down, I don't know if you watched the battle raps, like someone used that knowledge about Remy and the other guy and to, kind of humiliate it. Well, outside looking in, okay, it appeared to humiliate Papoose. Like, hold up. I don't know if we would have known about it because their business never really was out there until it came out in a battle rap. And that's a very aggressive media where it's like, yo, they use anything. They don't care if your kid died. They don't care who you got cheated. They don't care about none of that. Like anything is fair game. So it got really ugly. And then for the longest, Remy didn't say anything. She just took the L and took the heat. So I don't know, girl. I don't like it though. And I do not want beef with Remy. And I do not want beef with Papoose, who got the boxer girlfriend. I don't want beef with none of them. So I just want them all to just get along and fix it in private.
Well, we're wishing them the best because one thing that is very much true is when you are considered an inspiration for whatever reason, it brings out things in people that are either already in them innately, and it shows them what's possible. And maybe sometimes people just need that for a reason or a season. It's not your responsibility to live your life according to what other people think of you for their lifetime. It just isn't. So if you brought joy and inspiration and couples gold during that season to a lot of people, then that's what was in your purpose to do. And I, wish them all well.
Christine R said the boxer should pipe down a little. I'm going to say this. I will say it is, in my opinion, don't beat me up, Remy or Clarissa and any of y'all. Y'all look really strong. And my knee hurts in my back. I do think it is your responsibility. The people that were in the relationship, I do think it's Remy's and Papoose's responsibility to tell their partners to pipe down. Both sides. Remy, talk to your new guy. Hey, don't talk about this in your battle raps. Keep it down. Shut up. Like, don't antagonize my ex. And Papoose should tell his girlfriend, just say nothing about my ex-wife, soon to be ex-wife. Just leave it alone. Like, let things calm down. Let everybody heal to move on, because every little thing is going to be met with, like, because everything's played out publicly, you almost have to respond or you're going to look like a punk. You're going to look soft, and nobody wants to look soft in this social media world, especially in the world of rap and battle rap, Yeah. So they both need to tell their people to just, hey, you chill. You go to your corner. You go to your corner. Chill. Let this divorce happen.
I can understand in the world of battle rap, but I think when it comes to a boxer, I think I would talk way more crap if I could fight.
If you were the boxer, if you were Clarissa, you'd be talking mad shit.
I think just about everything if I could fight. I think I have a way with my words to be very specific and strategic because I cannot fight. And I also have been jumped. So there's a thing where it's like, I got some things to lose. I'm not trying to fight you.
Well, we're women of a certain age. We should not be fighting. But if, Erica, I get into a lot of fights back in the day, surprisingly. And they tried to jump me one time. This is what you got to do. You got to always keep a baseball bat, a Louisville Slugger, preferably wood, by the door. Somewhere in your house. If you don't have a shotgun, a nice little baseball bat does the trick. You can get all those clavicles and up in here. You just hit them all up in here and they'll get away from you. You'll win that one.
Contact.
What is that?
That's contact. I'm not trying to do any contact. That's why I got my tactical training.
I had 4-on-1 one time. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got jumped by 2 bitches.
We didn't win that one.
Oh no.
Why would I jump you? Why?
I got jumped in high school. This came up in therapy the other day. I was like, oh shoot, that's right. Yeah, I got jumped in high school. Mm-hmm.
Why would I can see people jumping me because I got a mouth. You're so nice.
Well, they called me the Black Barbie. There were some other, they were very upset with me. Let me tell you, they were very upset with me. I was in the hospital.
You take somebody's man, Erica, in high school? Were you trolloping around in 11th grade, 12th grade?
No, it had nothing to do with the boy. They were very mad at me.
Just for being cute?
They were calling me a Black Barbie.
Why is that I'd be like, yes, I am. Thank you very much.
I don't think that they thought that was a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, they cracked my ribs. I had I had a contusion. Yeah, they messed me up.
Do you know their names? We should track them down, get them on the show, and confront our former bullies.
I know who they are. Oh, thank you. Melanie Sorensen, $45. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat. From Denmark, please. More pop culture show. Love from Denmark. Love that.
That's my biggest donation ever. I can get my hair done one day.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna use that money and we're gonna get a baseball bat for Erica so she can keep them by the door. If those heifers, if those two bitches ever come back, we got something for them. Thank you, Malene Sorensen. Thank you. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's get back. We have more show to do in this.
Okay.
Okay. Just like that. Todd and Julie Chrisley, stars of the reality show Chrisley Knows Best, are free. Free at last. Free at last. Good God Almighty, we are free at last. Hate to have to quote Martin Luther King Jr. for these two white people that basically committed tax fraud and evasion, and they were pardoned because they are Trumpers. President Trump set these people free. Do we have some sound of this?
No sound, just
okay. Well, who is the lady in the red? Oh no, look at that.
Who is that lady?
Just being a coon. Just being a coon. Oh, yes, the massa. This is good stuff that she's doing. I think it's a good thing that you are freeing those Chrisleys. Those are some good white people, those Chrisleys, and they are Trumpers, and they love MAGA. Mr. President, they support you so much. Oh, thank you for letting me be the only black woman up in this room right here and not making me clean and take out the trash and making biscuits for you, Mr. President. We sick, are we, Mr. President? Are we sick? Are we feeling good? Sorry, that's my impersonation. That's my impersonation of a coon. Coon.
Oh, Lord.
Why are you in there making him look valid?
Well, there's always going to be one. Harry Girl says, Claudia, stop.
And they brought a black lady in there for some of those embarrassing shit. No, Negroes, use free. Get out of there. Say no sometime. No, I'm not going to be in here for this. I'm going to go around back. I got to go tend to something. Like, oh, Jesus.
I mean, clearly that incentive program is good if you're willing to give up your soul for it.
That is the lady that got her own pardon. She's a lady she's been helping other people get pardoned after she got her pardon. What's her name? Somebody put it in the chat. She recently got pardoned. It was a big deal. Someone give me the name.
Wait, is she the one that got pardoned with Kim Kardashian involved?
Yeah. Someone said Van Jones syndrome.
Oh no.
Well, anyways, whatever, who cares? What do you think about these people getting pardoned? The Chrisleys, was the society dying to welcome back the Chrisleys? Was it an injustice that they were even sent to prison and sentenced? What do you think? Multiple financial crimes.
I'm sorry, I just got stuck because I'm like, Van has always been very nice to me, so I don't want to throw him into this.
No, I like Van, but they say he go with the wind.
Like, oh, I should say something.
I like Van when he's sometimes, but when he's gets to crying and all that, and Trump did a great thing today with the.
Yeah, I understand, but I don't want to be like that two-faced person that's like, oh, thanks for, giving me advice on this. And also like, yeah. So that
you can listen, can still be appreciative and you're not saying anything bad about him. And I still like him, but I can like someone, but not like some of the things that they do, right? Like you probably like 80% of me, but I do some shit that's probably like, okay, Claudia, that's enough. You know what I mean? That don't mean you don't rock with me. You still rock with me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand. I get the clarity and I appreciate the clarity. I would say you're more like 95.
Thank you. Wow, that's great. Oh, Alice Johnson. That was Alice Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
When she got a pardon, he was like, Negress.
Well, also, I will say something about that too, because knowing that that's who that is, there is this thing that we kind of do, and it's make what we think apply to everyone and the lens from which we see it. And I think if you're talking about someone who has spent a certain amount of time in prison and hasn't really been ingratiated, if so to speak, into what's happening in the world in real time, as in that's what they're experiencing, then I can see being on like, I am going to be good to those who have been good to me. I don't know what that is like. I don't envy that position from beginning to end. I'm just throwing out another way of thinking about that.
I get it because
Yeah.
you know she's like, you know what, I have to show loyalty to, you know, I got out. I get that, but I would like it for her to be present, to not use her and kind of like dirty her up with ridiculous pardons like the Chrisleys. Like
Right.
maybe
No,
someone
I
that
get
was
it.
wrongfully persecuted, not these two. These two were not wrongfully persecuted. This wasn't a political persecution, or they weren't thrown in jail because of race or anything like that. They committed multiple financial crimes, including bank fraud, tax evasion, and wire fraud. These aren't people that were like, you know, doing great things for the society. They were reality stars. But much like Trump, they've got similar crimes like him. So I guess.
Well, I mean, let's talk about it. Birds of a feather, because you're talking about people who have basically sold a bill of goods to the American people and beyond, that they were successful business people. And the entire time they had a grift going. And not only that, you're talking about people think of financial crimes as like victimless crimes when they involve institutions, but these were local banks and unions and stuff like that. Like, there were victims to these crimes.
Yes.
And ultimately, you're talking about people who have been pretending way before Instagram that they were very wealthy, and they weren't. They were criminals, and it finally caught up with them. And so, yes, I can see there being some synergy in the branding of their brand and the president's brand.
Well, they were saying no MAGA left behind. So basically, all you have to do is pledge undying loyalty and be attached to Donald Trump's taint, and you will get a pardon no matter what you did. And you know that's what they're doing here.
Claudia, do you know, if you were to just be like, you know what, I give up, I pledge allegiance to the MAGA, do you know what you could get?
I'd be so rich. I could get a cabinet position probably. I'm over here doing work for the people, keeping me poor. I got top ramen in my counters right now, my cabinets right now. Maybe I should switch on over, be down with the Candace Owens, the Kanyes, all those people. I won't say boy band because he's still on our side. He's not over there. But I could be rich. If I was MAGA and I was like on Fox. Oh, sorry. Damn it. That's my karma. If I went to Fox News, I could probably get a gig on Fox News, right?
No, you totally could.
I could be like, the Negroes are at it again, complaining about reparations.
Yeah, we're going to throw it over to Claudia with our report for Fox News. Claudia Jordan?
On the 5th anniversary of the death of George Floyd, who the left tends to make into some kind of martyr and a great guy. We all know he was a criminal. He was not killed. It was a drug overdose. He did not get killed by Derek. Derek Chauvin is a saint. He was just being a police officer, doing his job in the line of duty. We have to back the blue unless the blue are backing democracy. Is that okay? Did that work?
Thank you, Claudia Jordan.
I'd have to get a little bit more
in the mail.
I have to get a little bit more face work done because everybody at Fox News has ridiculous fillers and lips, and my lips are like small again. So I'd have to get that done.
Okay. Well, we'll hold our breath for that.
Well, Trump granted full and unconditional pardon, saying they had unfair prosecution and overly harsh treatment. Well, speaking of my quick stint on Fox News, my quick audition for Fox News, it's been 5 years since George Floyd was killed. The anniversary was this past Sunday. Just before that milestone, the Justice Department dropped the bombshell. They moved to cancel major police reform agreements in Minneapolis and Louisville, agreements that followed the deaths of Floyd and Breonna Taylor. To make matters worse and more disrespectful, the Trump administration also stepped in to retract findings from investigations into 6 other police departments accused of civil rights violations. Erica, is this move to scrap police reforms right before George Floyd's anniversary a deliberate slap in the face to the fight for justice?
Of course. I mean, and let's make it clear. the name George Floyd makes this a trending topic on the 5-year anniversary. But all of this has been very much in the works and has been happening in very real time, becoming a police or states becoming police states, reducing or straight out dismantling any liability for abuse or wrongful death at the hands of a police officer. All of these things have been happening, and it's been happening very quietly. So when there does happen to be a story that trends because of the names and the players involved, just know that that is just the tip of the iceberg. That's what we're seeing above the water. It's everything that we haven't been seeing that's still submerged that should really, truly scare you, because it's worse.
Are people just fatigued and they're not fighting anymore?
Yes.
Because everyone's just like,
yeah,
I know it's the plan to do so much in the first 100 days where we don't know where to look. It's like, we got this, we got the attack on police reform, civil rights, voting rights, reproductive rights, this, that, the economy. Oh my God, we can't focus on one thing and we don't know where to look. So we can't all focus on energy. They want to get rid of the right to protest. Then they want to attack colleges. So Trump wants to dictate to private colleges and universities what their curriculum should be. They want to stop any students that have ever said anything negative about America or the president on their own personal social medias. The things that are happening are very un-American. These are the things that we would criticize and talk shit about other countries for. Well, they don't have democracy. We need to go bring democracy to their country because they need it. Yes, big sis Chris, they're following Project 2025 like Emmanuel. And remember, this president did lie and say he had nothing to do with it, had no idea what it meant, just like all these lying assholes that he got through on the Supreme Court. What's the lady? I forgot her name. The female justice that got put on the Republican. I can't remember her name. Damn.
I can see her.
Okay, well, all three of the ones that Trump appointed, Brett Kavanaugh, they all lied on the stand and said that they would not attack abortion, women's reproductive rights. Is precedent already. It's already in place.
Comey Barrett.
That's right. They would not attack, and they all lied. At what point do we do something like they should be impeached? They should be removed from office. If you are on the Supreme Court and you lie and how you got there, and now you're in place and you're supposed to be the top court of the land, you don't have any credibility anymore. Go ahead.
No, I was just checking because this conversation just seems very cyclical. When Project 2025 was first talked about, I'm just checking my TikTok. You can follow me at I am Erica Cobb or at Accidentally Informed. Yeah, this one, it's like the most popular thing that I've ever posted on TikTok. Mm-hmm. And that was on 7/10/2024. 7/10? Yeah, 7/10/2024. And it's all because the reason why I went so viral is because people were calling me a liar. That's not what that Project 2025 isn't a thing. That it's not, and some of them actually believed this to be true, that mainstream media was making this up in order to make sure that, Trump looked bad. And other people were in position to just say a thing wasn't a thing. And it's interesting that we're having this conversation on the 5-year anniversary of George Floyd's murder, because what that taught the opposition was that you have to come in the first 100 days and create chaos in every single facet, every single corner. Because what happened when we were all together in lockdown, watching the same thing at the same time, making our individual assessments of what was right and what was wrong and what was American and what was un-American. And the way that this country and other countries across the globe came together to say Black Lives Matter, the opposition said never again. And that's how you got Trump's first 100 days.
Yeah. And you know what?
You can't all get together if everybody is targeted.
Yeah. The chaos is working. And I want to say this. Throughout time, I get irritated from Democrats because I feel like there's such a purity test with them. Like, we have to make sure we, do things the right way. After this, if Trump doesn't affect the next election and stay in power, which he is trying in this big, beautiful bill, there is some language in there that says he can cancel elections, just so y'all know. Look into it, y'all. Call your senators, because right now it passed the House and we only had the Senate to stop us from having a king. Well, he is a king. All right. Y'all made him a king. Congratulations. If we ever get out of this nightmare and we have a president in office that is not the party that you are a part of, maybe a Democrat, maybe a very progressive, I can't wait to support them doing exactly what y'all doing to us. And before, I would not be like that. I'm like, no, we got to do the right thing, the right thing. Fuck it. There is no right thing. And y'all started this shit. Y'all did. There should have been some people left that would say, no, just because this is my side winning, we can't have it like this. Because when the pendulum swings the other way, and trust me, it always does. It always does. I don't want to hear shit when all this stuff is undone, and when the legal department, the Justice Department goes after all these people, all these Christy Nome, Pam Bondi, all you people, Jared Kushner, Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, all you people doing all this illegal shit and forcing people, strong-arming politicians to change the law and the Constitution so it's not illegal. We will not forget, and it will change. It will swing the other way. And before I be the type of Democrat that's like, no, we can't do that because we got to be better than them. And when they go low, we go high. Fuck that shit. We ain't going high no more. We're going to get high and be happy and dance and laugh as we get you back. And then when it's even, then we can talk about being fair, because until then, fuck y'all. Because you guys have ruined America. Y'all even have taken away people like me who cared about being fair. I don't even care anymore. Now you made it tribal where it's us against y'all. And I hope that the Democrats, when it comes time, have a spine and remember all this shit that y'all forced down America's throat and did not care about fairness and did not care about the way things should be. Get gangster, Democrats. Get gangster and do what they did to you, to them. See how they like it. And then after that, we go back to the way it used to be, where we be fair.
We call it truce.
We call it truce. But we do not go back to being nice and us being, it can't be one side playing by the rules and the other side not. Fuck that shit. And then be able to have respect. They want to say we soft and we weak. You're right, we are. But guess what? When we get our chance, I hope we elect the most progressive, ridiculous Democrat that is going to shove legislation down and not give a damn about fairness and optics. I can't wait to support, just because of what y'all doing to us. Y'all done made me be progressive and radical extra. I cannot wait. I can't wait. And it's going to happen. And guess what? All y'all that are doing all this stuff, Trump one day won't be president. And there will be karma to pay. And you will be viewed horribly in the history books. And we will have our time. It always swings back. Remember that.
The pendulum, it do be swinging.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. That's the thing. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's law, and that's just the way things are. So
someone said Dems are in the same pocket as Trump's. No, they're not, you guys. There's one party that is fighting for you to have health care. There's one party that does not want to give a tax break to the billionaires and millionaires, even though a lot of them are millionaires and very rich. And there's one that's not. Like, honestly, you cannot keep saying they're both the same, because they're not. Are there shitty Democrats? Yes. Are there shitty Republicans? Most of them. Yes. But they're not the same. They do not fight for the same things. And you see it. If you watch the Senate hearings, watch the House hearings, you will see. I'm just saying. Hey, y'all, before we go, is Chivalry dead?
Oh, yeah. I don't want it to be, though.
There's a pregnant woman that's going viral for posting a video that shows her on a packed train. And
that was rude. That was pretty rude. That was rude. That was pretty rude.
I mean, that's not chivalry, because it's not someone trying to date her. They're just like, we don't give a damn about you and your baby.
Yeah. So I grew up in Chicago and I took the train, and I cannot imagine, it's been a long time since I've been on the L, But I just remember, like, if no one else, first I was always waiting on a man to stand up, but I would stand up. Like I was a young, healthy person, totally able to stand up. If a pregnant woman got on the train, if an elderly person got on the train, someone who had an ailment got on the train, and there was no place for them to sit, I always get up. But I'm looking at people now, and it's like people don't get up for anything or anyone.
No,
And
nobody
it's
cares.
like insane to me. There is a lack of empathy. And I think chivalry is a part of it. That when chivalry died, like just fundamental respect for other humans and comfort for people who might need it and are vulnerable went away as well.
People are rude. People don't care about the next person, but they get so mad if you don't care about one of theirs. Oh, you disrespected my child, or you didn't look up for. Listen, put out positive energy. It'll come back to you. You just have to. I just feel like people got to get back to a point where, like, respect, love, kindness to your neighbor, not being so me versus you, us versus them. That's why I'm so sick of it. And after this pendulum shifts and we get this really asshole Democrat that I hope we get in office that just makes y'all feel like we did, like, then we want to go back to being polite. I'm just saying, I just can't stand how rude people are. No one cares about each other anymore. Oh, congratulations. Cassie had her baby. Her baby.
Yeah. I love that. That feels like a new beginning for her. I mean, I know she has other children, but I think there's something very powerful about I'll just say it in like a spiritual sense, that seed that was planted to get her through. I really feel that very strongly. So congratulations to her on that. I did want to say thank you to Maylene Sorensen in Denmark. Maylene sent another $45. So thank you so much.
Oh my God.
You're really getting your hair done, Claudia.
Oh my God,
Yes.
that's so nice.
Yes, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Oh, Bella Collier is in London. Okay, we love our international people.
I want a man from London. I love the accent. If y'all can hook me up with someone that's like 6'2", 6'3", handsome. I like a strong jawline and like
Okay.
broad shoulders.
Actually, when I was in Chicago for Beyonce, I went to my friend's boutique. He's like a artist designer thing. And I was asking him about some prospects for you. Yes. He knows a lot of people. I was like, hey, what about Claudia? Do you have anybody? He was like,
Yeah.
No. He was like really going through his Rolodex because it's like the demographic, I think.
Got it.
I think you'll like. I think
I
you'll
want to
like
have butterflies about someone and like I can't wait to like have a first kiss with someone again and then and make love. I can't wait to do that again. It's been
okay.
Erica, it's been a minute. I almost looked at porn the other day. I was almost going to take care of myself, but I was like, that's pathetic. I'm not doing that.
Well, actually, let's talk after this about that situation because I'm thinking some things. Some things are coming up. The informers are like either spill the tea or shut up. So I think that's our cue to leave. But let's also remind people to like, subscribe. If you haven't already, we want to get those numbers up. Thank you all. Our numbers have been doing so well. But we're on Instagram and at Accidentally Informed as well as TikTok. So follow both of those accounts.
Belle said if I want a tall, rich, hot man in London, go to cricket matches in the summertime and then go to the bars afterwards. I'm going to London. Let me book my flight right now. You coming? When should we go? When should we go? I need to go. There's like I need a week of games.
Yeah. When's a good time to go? Belle, let us know a good time. I don't know why I'm yelling. Like,
listen, I talked to one guy before that in London. He was like half Jamaican and half in British, and he was fine as hell. Oh, the class, the way he spoke, he was just so sexy. It was a long time ago, though.
Okay.
I would do that again.
We're going to work on this. This is going to be a hot girl summer.
Yes.
For Claudia.
I'm ready to be a hoe. Just kidding. Just one man. I just want one. That's it. All right, y'all. This has been Accidentally Informed.
Well, we can't guarantee you'll learn something, but I think today you might.
Put it on, girl. Let me see it. Put it on, girl. Let me see it.